Hey everyone, I have been spending our time since our first meeting in class thinking about how I want to organize kind of ongoing updates throughout the quarter. I love doing weekly videos in my online classes, but I have been brainstorming the best way to do that since we're half in person, half online. So this is just a thought and a trial, and I'm going to give it a go. Right now, I am sitting on campus in what is called, in our department, the Secret Garden, which is a secret little spot in nature, hidden between some buildings under a beautiful tree. And I wanted to broadcast from here just to encourage you to find your own spaces. We'll talk about that more on day 2, but find your own spaces where you feel motivated and refreshed in order to get the work done. And if you missed class or if you came to class, let's talk about the work. For this week, what you're working on is the bio. If you are in Canvas, you can find it if you go to syllabus, projects, and textbook, and you'll access my website. Or you can go to www.F24-101-wk1d1.com, click on projects, bio. And just as a reminder and a refresher to you guys, I'm hoping you'll show up with your bio drafted for the start of day 2 in class. It can be printed, it can be handwritten, it can be typed up on your computer. We'll share these with each other and just work on how to progress them along into a Sunday due date. So you're telling us about yourself as a person. In class, we worked on brainstorming questions that we might answer and explore in our bios, and also a just really traditional pre-writing model where we put our names in the middle and then broke off into categories. Some of the categories that you guys presented to me were: tell us about your family. I have a son named Tilo. My husband's named Eric. We have a cat named Vespa. I used to have some Great Danes. Tell us about your education. I went to LCC, then WSU, and then Northern Arizona Online, and now I work here. I've been working here for 17 years, teaching here for 10 years. You guys had other awesome categories, like what's your favorite? Anything. Food, movie, books, characters, sport. Then you got into things like who's an influential person in your life? Who are some role models? Some people who are important to you. Some of you got vulnerable, sharing about maybe losing some of the people who you love and care about, and how that's shaped the trajectory of how you want your life to be going forward, things you really want to accomplish. Some of those things might be related to your future jobs, your future families. Some of you just started talking about personal values and goals in general, and all of this is good, and you can include any of this in your bio that you're interested in including. So I collected your Post-it notes, and I want to share a couple of things that I think are fun that I found in here. There's so much, but maybe you want to talk about beaches or mountains. I really like that one. Or maybe it's lakes, rivers, the forest. Maybe it's just your backyard, your porch. Maybe, as someone shared in class, it's not about an outdoor space. Maybe it's an indoor space. Think about things that would reveal a little bit about who you are. Another one I think that would be cool to just call out for everyone is, what is your favorite self-care, or what are your favorite self-care activities? We could all use some help coming up with ideas for what we can do for ourselves in order to transition between all of the things that we're juggling all day long, especially as college students, and even for me as a faculty member here. So maybe if you're comfortable, share that. It might give others ideas. Sometimes these questions maybe don't prompt an answer from you, but if we ask them in a different way, you might get the answer. That's a composing process thing I want to bring up to you. So, like, what are your goals? That might be overwhelming. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? That might be more overwhelming. Or for some of you, you might be like, I know how to answer that. I want to answer that. So that's why sometimes when you read a prompt, it's the same question asked 3 to 5 times, because different brains are going to hear the question uniquely. This Post-it says favorite soda. I love asking people, what's your favorite drink? because that's something, not that we have the means to do this, but I feel like as a friend or just a colleague, it's nice to know what the people like to drink so that you can surprise them if you ever have the ability to do that. I teach a magazine course on campus, and so we'll probably get 3 to 7 students total. And one day one of the students showed up with everyone's favorite drink, and he had just been silently paying attention and taking note so that he could surprise us in that way. And I thought it was one of the kindest gestures. Do you like to do what's your favorite store to shop at, or do you like to thrift shop? Some people really love Costco, and that's the whole thing and a culture. And then, do you like sweet or salty things? What are some of your food cravings? Maybe during the course of the quarter, you reward yourself with whatever thing it is. And this is just another way to make our bios a little lighthearted, fun, and playful so that we can connect with one another. Like I said in class, the key word going into our second day together is aim. So aim for 400 words. Aim for writing in the third person, switching your bio from my name's Amber, I like these things, I went to college here, to Amber Lemire likes these things, she lives here, she goes there. But if you aim and you're not there by the morning of our second class, that is fine. We will get there together, and I have room in that day for us to connect and make sure that you have what you need going forward. And I'm just looking at the bullets. I think that's enough kind of reminders for you guys to get you zoomed in. Again, if you missed class, other than working on these bios, kind of getting to know each other and reviewing the bios project, we talked about your instructor. That's a page in the syllabus, and I let you guys know, email me anytime if you need me. I've already received one email, so I've been able to help out with the bio project. And then I'm happy to meet with you outside of class time. I don't feel like that's needed yet, but if it is for any reason, let me know. And then we went over the About English 101 page. That's pretty formal stuff, like the course description and outcomes, kind of what it's going to look like, how the course is laid out, like the quarterly calendar. I talked about what you need, no textbook required. And then we talked about this idea of working as freelancers. If you don't get that yet, that's okay. We'll get it over time. We'll just keep diving into and unpacking that. One day is not enough time to cram all of this information in, but I want to remind you and reiterate in a different space that freelancers is a fake organization. Calling you journalists is just another way to name the work that you're doing, which is writing, and it just will give a lot of the words and the projects some more meaning, and it should simplify things. We'll get into that later. I think in class on day 2, we'll talk a tiny bit about the workflow and grades page of the syllabus. So we'll just cover a little bit more ground there, and I'm still working out the exact grading system so that when I give it to you, it's clear. And we'll talk a little bit about some support services. Since I'm not going to see all of you on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, this video is for my Monday, Wednesday, and my Tuesday, Thursday class, I wanted to let you know that there's a student fair going on from 10 to 2 p.m. with a barbecue in the student center on campus where the cafeteria is. So if you show up anytime around then, you bring your student ID, or at least your student ID number, you can get some free food for lunch, and you can learn about campus resources, learn about campus clubs, how you can get involved, what kind of stuff is happening around here. And that could be a fun way for you guys to engage with some resources. So, what else do I want to say while I have you captive? If you missed class and you can review the pages I mentioned and show up with your bio, that would be awesome. Otherwise, we can just do our best to get you back on track as soon as possible. And to reiterate, the bio will be submitted to me by Sunday around midnight-ish. And I think that's all for now. I just really wanted to make sure to get something out to you guys to start this process. And then after class on day 2, I'll try to do the same kind of thing by sharing out, if not a video, then at least a note on this Padlet for the week 1 little posts, so that you can kind of keep track of the ground that we've covered and whatnot. But yeah, I'll blab more at you guys when I have you in person. And I really look forward to seeing all of you again. Thanks for making day 1 just feel really productive, friendly, and supportive, and for cooperating with what I had in mind for that class time. I felt really fortunate to have all of you creating such a pleasant atmosphere already. And I hope we can keep that up. I hope we can all contribute to that. That doesn't mean you can't have a bad day. It's fine. You can have a hard day. You can take a break if you need to. But for right now, I wanted to express my gratitude. I will see you guys soon. Reach out if you need anything at all.